Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on my channel. So today is COLM's very first lesson with Lucy, doing the biomechanics lesson. And as you can see, we don't have a Lucy. We've got a tripod and my phone up there, and we're having a remote lesson because I'm in Australia and she is in England. So I have been doing quite a few remote lessons towards the end of my riding with Bella and before she retired, and I really do enjoy it. I find I was a little bit apprehensive to start with, but now we've got groove on. It is very good, although I am working extremely hard behind the scenes to try and bring you guys her audio and to get a better viewing experience for you. So I'm very thankful Andrew, my husband, came along today to record for me so we can get a good look, and I also love watching it back because it always looks so much different to how it feels. So let's jump on in. So this is COLM. I spent quite a bit of time in walk just explaining a bit about COLM to Lucy. So he's my 14-year-old full Connemara pony. He has been living with me for 10 years. In that time, I've done a lot of work at home with him. I've had my mum ride him, the grandkids have ridden him, and he's been in and out of work, but he hasn't gone out and about very often. So this is all very new to him. This was only, I think, the third or fourth time that he'd been to the indoor arena, so I was very, very proud of him. And we were working today very much at the bottom of the training scale on rhythm, and also getting him to use his body more in a correct posture. So he has quite often gone around loading up the inside, loading up his shoulders. So we now need to get him to be more athletic so I can take him out and do some dressage. And we need him to be filling up the outside of his body, lifting his rib cage, lifting his back, and becoming a lot softer and rounder, which will make working much easier for him in the long run. So you can see here there's a lot of kicking because we're still very sort of unfit, and he finds it easier to jog there because I'm very much asking him to use himself properly. So today's lesson with Lucy, as I said, was all about getting him off that inside shoulder and using his body and moving him across. So we never normally would cross our inside hand over the wither, so we are breaking the rules today because at the start Lucy very much likes to overemphasize everything. So we pretty much are shouting at him in this lesson today saying, come on mate, this is where I want you, this is exactly where I want you. So we use the inside hand towards the outside shoulder with a very elastic soft elbow and a soft shoulder. So even though we are sort of give and take, saying come on, move, and here we do some small circles as well just to get that hind leg really up and under. It's all done with very soft contact. And we do a few more of these circles. So we're working out there on a 20-metre circle, and then we do sort of 5-10 metre little volte circles every now and again just to really, like I said, get that hind leg working under him. He does find it easier on this rein than he does on the right rein, which you will see shortly when we change direction. I know there's a lot of walking. There is a little bit of trotting in this video, but we are very much back to basics with COLM. And that's where it all starts, at the bottom of the training scale, just working on those fundamentals so that when we do move up into trot and canter, he has a much better understanding of how his body should be going. We have been working a lot on fitness. I'm actually doing this voiceover and uploading this video a couple of weeks after this lesson. So he is moving much better now and more forward, and he's a lot fitter. We have also done our first competition, which is super exciting. So make sure that you are subscribed and have hit the little bell button so you get notified when that one comes out. So that will be the next video that I am about to edit. So here we are changing the rein, and as you can see, he gets a little stuck because he's like, I don't like moving this shoulder over. I don't like using the outside of my body on this rein. But here he is crossing, he's bringing that hind leg underneath. So the other thing that Lucy had me working on was my posture in this video. So At the start, she was just watching me walk around on him, and she had me move my shoulders more forward, so I had shoulders over my knees. I actually felt like I was riding in 2-point position, but watching it back, and that's where having the videos is so beneficial, I can see that I'm actually sitting more upright, and so by bringing the shoulders forward, that also tilts the pelvis forward, which lifts my seat and allows his back to come up and under me. So I need to really, and I have been really, really mindful of that, so that he has that space to be able to lift his back, lift his rib cage, and move underneath me. So I had been revisiting a lot of the lessons that Lucy had taught me on Bella. One of them was the clock face, so I was trying to do that at home to move him across, because I was very aware that he was loading up that inside, but we needed to go back just a little bit further by doing this crossing over of the inside hand to the outside shoulder. And as you can see here, it works a treat. So he is now really softening on that inside, and he's filling up that outside rein. So that's very much the inside leg to outside hand. So I love Lucy's way of teaching and getting you in the right position to allow the horse to be able to fill up that outside hand. So it's more about the feeling of them filling the outside rather than you looking to create that strength on the outside rein. I think I've explained that properly. It's hard to really explain the feeling that you get. So here we are up into trot, and he is quite sticky at the start with the trot. So we then again was working on that, lifting that shoulder, bringing that hind leg underneath to lift the back and allow him the freedom to move. He is a little bit nappy around here because Bella is over in the yards on that open side, so he really slows down, so I have to kick him through there. But we do start to do the star jump, so that is another lesson. Here you go. He moves forward a little bit better there. So you can go back through my lessons with Bella if you want to understand a little bit more about what I'm talking about with the star jump, and with the position and the clock face and all of those things. And I think this time round is when I really get my legs off. So the point of the star jump is to lift the legs up and away. No, it's not that one. You'll notice it when I do it. So lift the legs up and away. So rather than kicking, which is hard, and I am doing that, which is our natural thinking to get a lazy horse forward. But what we actually need to do is create space for them to move. So by doing the star jump, we have a little spooky duke. Doing the star jump helps to create that space. Here we go, star jump. So you can see there he has more space to be able to move through, and he does actually lengthen his stride a bit. But then I lose the shoulder, so then I got to work on the shoulder. And here I tried to do the star jump, but it's really hard round there because he really does not want to move. I was exhausted and I shouldn't have had my jumper on. I got so hot doing this. Here we go, star jump, and you can see there he really moves through from that. And then we go on to the right rein, and we get the COLM, what I call the COLM shuffle, where he does not want to move his body to that outside. He wants to load up that inside, and I'm saying no, and he's going, oh, it's all too hard, I can't do it. So I was really pleased that Lucy got to see this, because this is where I get a little frustrated with him. And that's why in the past, I suppose I've always defaulted to riding Bella, because she is a little bit more forward. I did have my lazy problems with her at the beginning, but if I was going out to ride them both, I'd generally gravitate to her first, and then I'd run out of time and think, oh, well, I'll do COLM tomorrow. And he was always quite happy with that. He was quite happy being the companion pony in the paddock. But yeah, now he's the main man. We need to get these muscles working in a far better way and get him really using himself properly. He's a very smart pony, so I don't think it'll take very long. And now I've got a lot more tools in my toolbox from Lucy, so I think we will be moving up, hopefully, quite quickly. through those levels of the training scale. So what we did here is we brought him back to walk, and just to reiterate to him what we wanted, he wasn't supposed to turn a circle there. Lucy really wanted me to just bend that head and neck, move that shoulder across, but he thought, oh no, it's far easier to do a circle. So what she did have me do is use my little crop there just to give him a tap tap, because he didn't listen to my leg obviously, just to say, no mate, we need you to stay out here on the circle, we need you to move that shoulder across. And you can see here he gets the idea. So he was giving me nice crossover there, bringing that hind leg up and under, and getting the idea of what it is that we wanted. So again, we're just really overemphasizing. So eventually, one day, we can make all these adjustments and they will be so subtle that you won't even notice. But he will go, oh, that's right, a little bit of pressure there, that means I have to do this. Or she's sitting in that way, that means I have to move my body this way. So yes, we are kind of shouting at him in this lesson, but eventually we will be whispering. So here we move up into the trot again, and you can see here he wants to drop that shoulder over that side. So I do give, my hand is right across, and you can see though that the rein is sort of quite slack there from time to time. So I'm just softly holding my hand there and giving him little kind of cues with a soft elbow and just saying, come on mate, this is where I want you. And the little tap tap down the shoulder. So his reaction is kind of a bit dramatic. And I wasn't sure if I should show this, but this is training. This is what we do. This is the training. And he's not being harmed in any way. He's being shown this is how you need to move your body. And he does get the message. But what I did start to realize is that I actually lose him here. So what he does here is he kind of runs out through that outside shoulder so that he can then kind of swing back in, and he does a spook because he thinks that's his way, he's going to get away with it. He does a little spook to then load up the inside, if that makes sense. So here, once he gets the idea, we get a nice trot, and you can see he softens, he's able to lift his back. And again, it's about here. He starts to run through that shoulder. So what I did is I started to block that with my outside leg. So, and a little bit with the outside rein. And here I'm saying, come on, move your shoulder. And he gets stuck, he gets stuck. But the whole time my hand is soft, my elbow is soft. And then we get him lift the back. He comes more round. And he's like, oh, okay, this is what you want. So I think it's this circle when we come around here, I managed to really hold him together, and see there, he does not get to run out through that shoulder. So that's where it was happening. That's where it was starting to be created. But this time I was able to stop that, and he stayed up on his outside of his body and trotted through quite nicely, even though he got a little stuck. And here you can see it frees up lovely. So I was so pleased with him. Like I said, he's a very clever pony, and he picks things up very quickly. And I'm sure in my lesson today, we won't need to shout quite so much. I hope you enjoyed watching, and please stay tuned. And hopefully next time we'll have Lucy's lovely voice instead of mine. Thank you.